Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello Squiz Kids listeners, and welcome to the Kids vs Adults weekly news quiz. Your chance to see who's had their listening ears on and been paying the most attention to the week that just was. I'm Bryce Corbett. All week in the Squiz Kids Today podcast, we've been bringing you the big news stories of the day, run through our kid-friendly filter to make sure you know all you need to know about the world around you. Now, it's time to test how much of the week's news you've retained, and in the process, see who's smarter, kids or adults. Plus, of course, because it's a Friday, we've got all today's birthday shout-outs and all the shout-outs for the weekend ahead, including, of course, the birthday reggae tune, because it wouldn't be a Friday without it. So, here's how the quiz works. 5 questions for kids about the week in news, then 5 questions for adults. Whoever answers the most correct questions wins. Easy. You ready? Let's do this. Alright kids, here are your 5 questions. Question number 1, which team won Game 1 of the NRL State of Origin this week? Yeah, of course, it was Queensland. Question number 2, the Matildas had a successful week as well, beating which country in a friendly match on Monday night? Yeah, well done if you said China. On the subject of China, question number 3, we heard in the podcast this week how China was celebrating after it sent a rocket ship up into space to collect rocks from the far side of which nearby celestial body? Yeah, well done if you said the moon. Because the moon isn't a planet, you know, it's actually technically a celestial body. Sounds much more romantic. Question number 4. We also heard in the podcast this week about a big dinosaur discovery in South Australia, after paleontologists revealed they had uncovered the remains of an ancient creature resembling a giant what? Was it A, a giant wombat, B, a giant penguin, or C, a giant goose? It was, in fact, C, a giant goose. How terrifying would that be? Question number 5. The winner of the annual Spelling Bee was crowned in the United States this week. How many words did he spell correctly in a 90-second period? Was it A, 29, B, 2, or C, 86? Well done if you said A, 29. Imagine if he'd spelled 86 words correctly in a 90-second period. Wowzers. How did you go, kids? How many did you get right out of 5? Do you reckon that's enough to beat the adults? I hope so. All right, adults, now it's your turn. Let's fire up the old grey matter, and here we go. Question number 1. Let's test your Matildas knowledge now, adults. What was the score in Monday night's friendly game against China? Well done if you said 2-0. Question number 2. We heard in the podcast this week how yesterday was a big day of commemoration in France, with world leaders gathering there to mark the 80th anniversary of what momentous Second World War event? Did you say the D-Day landings? You would be correct. Question number 3. An iconic cruise liner announced this week it was pulling out of the Australian market after almost 100 years of sailing here. Which cruise line am I talking about? Well done if you said P&O. Question number 4. Alex de Minaur made a little bit of tennis history this week, becoming the first Aussie men's tennis player to make it to the French Open quarter-finals in 20 years. Who was the last Aussie men's tennis player to do so? Yeah, well done if you said Leighton Hewitt. Question number 5. The world's biggest democratic election finally wrapped up this week after 6 weeks of voting and counting. Which country am I talking about? Yep, of course, I'm talking about India. How did you go, adults? How many did you get right? Did you beat the kids? Who won bragging rights this week? If you've missed any of these cool news stories throughout the week and you want to refresh your memory, all of this week's Squiz Kids episodes are available for a re-listen wherever you get your podcasts. Well, that's the end of the quiz, which means it's now time for...
Shout-outs.
It's Friday, June 7. Today, my friends, is National Donut Day. And also, in the United Kingdom, it's National Fish and Chips Day. What a winning combination. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids, celebrating a birthday today and over the coming weekend. And because it's a Friday, let's crack out the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it! And it's a happy birthday to Chloe from Point Cook, Marion from Sydney, Alexander from Balcombe Hills, Liam from Duncraig, Lizzie from Vermont, Alfie and Peyton from Thaguna, Hamish from Ultimo, Amalia from Warrawee, Jack from Heidelberg, Katori Lee from Mount Isa, Indigo from Altona, Harrison from Warrnambool, Maddie and Emily from Cannon Hill, Alicia from Yass, Nicholas from Warn Ponds, Violet from Doncaster, Zoe from Camaret, Ollie and Noah from Mount Gravatt, Sasha and Sienna from Coburg North, and Ariana from Oxford Falls. And belated birthday wishes go to Max from Parkinson, Austin from Epping, Isabella from Belrose, Duam from Cape Jarvis, and Suki Lee listening all the way over there in Kyoto in Japan. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening, and I hope you're enjoying these quizzes. Don't forget, there'll be a new one dropping first thing every Friday morning. And the best bit? They're absolutely free. Just as our other excellent content is free too. We're talking a Squiz Kids Today news podcast on Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays, a Squiz Kids shortcut or a Squiz the World every Tuesday, and for all the teachers out there, there's the Classroom Companion, our teacher-produced classroom activity sheets, curriculum aligned and tied to the Daily Pod on Mondays, whose entire back catalogue is now able to be searched via our website. Genius. Check it all out at squizkids.com.au or simply subscribe to Squiz Kids in your favourite podcasting app and all the audio content will magically appear. For now though, this is Bryce Corbett signing off and reminding you all to get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.